Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new action drama, Exit Protocol. And this film is from director Shane Dax Taylor, and written by Chad Law. And we have Scott Martin, who plays Sam Hayden, who is the self-professed best assassin in the game, and he has to go toe-to-toe with Dolph Lundgren's Charles Manigault, who is on the run, trying to get out of the business, and he has some other people on his tail, including Michael Jai White's Isaac Florentine, and this film, an assassin whose speciality is killing other assassins, trying to get out of the business, decides to try to get out himself and must then team up with his former mark to escape the hired killers now gunning for them both. And this film honestly has some interesting things to say about, this type of work, this type of lifestyle, and all of the dark and challenging aspects of it. It's one of those types of films where it seems on paper pretty paper thin and cheesy, but the actual plot has potential to explore some interesting things. And I do think that this film doesn't quite reach the depth that it needs to be able to explore those themes and ideas in such an impactful and poignant way, but it dabbles in it, and it offers some interesting things to it. I think the likes of Dolph Lundgren and Michael Jai White, they just have a natural charisma. Even if their characters don't have a ton of characterization, at least they have presence. And they do. You have Charlotte Kirk, who pops up in the film as well, and I think she does a rock-solid job. My biggest complaint, honestly, about this film is Martin. I think he's pretty flat, and he's given a lot of voiceover work, and the voiceover plays out pretty flat and just lacks oomph to it. This isn't like De Niro doing voiceover in a Scorsese film or so many other iconic voiceovers. This really relies on the voiceover throughout the film, and it just doesn't hit. And his performance feels a bit shallow, especially compared to just the effortlessly charismatic Dolph Lundgren and Michael Jai White. And that leaves a lot on the table for this film, especially when Martin's supposed to be the lead here and is supposed to be the linchpin to the whole thing. The special effects used for like the gunshots and the smoke coming out of the guns look so cheesy and ridiculous and so fake that it really does take you out of the film. The action in this film has a few inspired moments, but generally is a bit lacking. I think they could have leaned in especially a little bit more on Michael Jai White's talents, because he could really do a bunch of martial arts and stuff like that. Would have been interesting. This film also leans into some pretty big twists and turns in terms of the story, because you have Hayden, our main character, who's haunted by somebody he killed in the past, and how that actually plays out in the film feels really shallow and ridiculous and kind of takes away from the impact of the story. It's just, there's some bolder choices in terms of how this film shakes out that fall flat, and then a lot of cliches to make this not feel like it's as fresh or interesting as the premise potentially had. And at the end of the day, Exit Protocol is a pretty uninspired and disappointing action drama, because there's some elements here that could have been interesting, but over the course of this 84 minutes, it just kind of is there and never really digs deep enough, never challenges itself enough to really make something out of this. But those are my thoughts on Exit Protocol. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.